Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
My name's Rod.
My name's Tim.
And Tim is with us for our first video, but he's always been a part of the Board Game Closet. So today we're going to take a look at Mice and Mystics. It's put out by Plaid Hat Games, and the creator is Jerry Hawthorne. And so why don't we just go ahead and dive right in?
All right, Mice and Mystics is a very story-driven game. And here, talk about these amazing instruction booklets here. This is the rule book. It's got like a nice little indicator here that you can go actually watch the video on plaidhatgames.com, which I believe is done by Watch It Played. Which is really cool that you can instead, some people don't like reading the instruction booklet, don't like spending the time to really, dive into all the little rules. And seeing a video of somebody else playing it and explaining how to play it is really nice. So that's something that Plaid Hat Games has done a really good job at. The instructions are easy to read and understand. There will be a couple things that you will be looking through the instruction booklet about because it wasn't quite clear the first time you read through it, but it hasn't been too hard to find it in there. The story on this game is awesome. It really does lead to the immersion, and you should read it out before you play it. You guys have anything to say about that?
Great. Well, one thing that we love about Tim is that Tim is our rules guy. And so a lot of times in our gaming group, we'll show up and never have played a game before, and we just hand Tim the rules. And we say, teach us how to play. And so that was one thing that was great about this game is if you don't have a Tim, then you can go online and watch the videos and learn how to play and immediately get into the game. And I think once you do, you'll really like how this game plays.
Well, I was one person who didn't want to play this game. From originally hearing about the story, about the game, and it just didn't interest me. But quite honestly, after playing it, I'm much more interested in the game. And I think the game plays very good. I think the instructions are fantastic. And again, the artwork, fantastic.
Okay, so we want to dive in and tell you a little bit about the game mechanics and how it actually plays. So this game is played with up to 4 people. You can actually play this game solo, or you can go up to the 4. But in every single scenario in the game, there's always going to be 4 mice that are on the board at any given time. So that's kind of a cool mechanic where there's up to 4 and you can control more if you have to. So basically the way that the game works is you're going to control these 4 mice, and you're going to have enemies that are on the board that might be rats or spiders or roaches, scorpions.
Well, that's scorpions,
centipedes. And so there's different characters that are going to come out on the board at different times, and your job is going to be to get through your little maze of places that you're going to have to do and clear the board at the same time. And so each one of your characters, I really like how this works. Each of the characters come with their own card that tell you the different abilities that they have. They might be faster, they might be stronger, they might have better defense. And then they also come with standard equipment. So like on this particular guy, he comes with a dagger. Nez comes with a hammer, and the different ones have different abilities that they can do. And so as you play the game, you're able to get more cards that can add to what you carry with you, special abilities, things like that. And so the game is based off of dice rolls. So you'll want to each turn you have the ability to move and do one action. And so you'll roll the dice to see how far you can go. And then if you're able to attack someone on that turn, say they're in the same space or an adjacent space, then you're able to attack them. Or if you're not close to anybody, you can spend a turn and search to find more gear that you can add to your arsenal. So that's pretty much how the game plays in the mechanic. There's also a mechanic in the game that changes the order of who goes first. And as you play the game, you'll find out that that's a pretty big deal because your enemies might be able to go first and get to you and attack you first, or you might be able to get all of your guys to one enemy and take him out before he even gets a chance to move. And so I feel like it's a balanced game as far as allowing the enemies to play and you to play them. Like I said, it is based off of dice roll, so that's kind of good and bad. I don't know how you feel about the luck of dice. Some people hate it, some people love it, but I do think it's balanced because it's not a guarantee that you're going to walk up to this guy and take him out. It all depends on how the dice roll for you.
All right, I started talking about the parts of the game, the actual materials with it. First of all, we'll start off with the miniatures. This is the best part of the game, I think, that the miniatures are very detailed. There's a nice selection. I think I would like to see in the future some more pieces come out, but of course that just means an expansion. But the pieces are very nice. The mice that they're represented in here look just like the artwork here, so it's fantastic on that part of it. The game board itself, really nice game board. These tiles they're nice and sturdy. They're two-sided. And with a lot of the adventures, if you go through a certain part, like for instance, if you go through here, you actually just flip it over, and then you would be right here on this side of the game board playing this. So that's a pretty neat aspect of the game. The cards, the stock is good. It's thick and it holds up over time. There's lots of these little like cheese pieces, and there's charms, so different things that may happen to the character that you'll be able to keep this on top of your character so you know what the status of your character is. The clock tower, it's just another good piece, nice thick cardboard that's used for it. Again, the artwork and the graphics are fantastic. It flows well with the instruction manual and everything. It's just a really nice game when it comes to the parts. I mean, the dice are nice also. They're different than some of the other dice that we've seen, so it's a nice change of pace. Overall, I just would have to rate the game pieces and everything just the highest standard, and it's awesome. It's incredible. So I very much like it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like when they designed this game that you could tell they put at the top of their list, they wanted the artwork to just be amazing. And then story, I don't know if story comes first or artwork comes first, but I mean, those two things are the thing that totally drive this game, and you can tell when it plays through. And I think if you take one of those off, it wouldn't be the same game. If the artwork wasn't this good, then the story wouldn't be that great. If the story wasn't great, then I don't think the artwork really would have mattered. And so I just really think they put a lot into that. And then that trickles down to the components and the pieces. I love the canvas cards. I mean, this to me, it's really nice stuff. And then, they talk throughout the game, you can get pieces of cheese, and then you actually get a piece of cheese and it goes on your board. And I don't know, I just really love the components of this game.
And the way they've made things into like the little details, like he's holding, it's not a shield, it's a button and stuff like that. So for mice and stuff. So this is actually like a grandfather clock in the background, like the Three Blind Mice thing. But it's actually usable. This is the timer for the game here, and this is the initiative track here. It's got spots for the search pile, the encounter cards, which are super awesome. They actually show, depending on what page of the chapter you're on, like it goes back right to the story. It tells you what kind of encounter you're going to have if you have to pull an encounter card. It's also got the big cheese timer here, which there's different times, this is bad, to get this filled up, that'll surge because you filled up the clock tower up here, and it'll cause an encounter, which means more bad guys on the tile, and that's bad because you don't really get anything for fighting bad guys. They're just really a hassle to get through.
Yeah.
It's fun hassle, and these components, when you get in close to them, it's not like the detail fades away and you're like, oh, that doesn't really look cool. You get closer, it looks better the closer you get. So there's lots of little details.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of people out there that will paint your miniatures for you if you don't like painting them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can tell that Tim likes the game. But and I do agree. I mean, so like I said before, I didn't have much of an interest in this game at all. The things that started pulling me in first was when he brought the box in and we opened it up and started looking at this artwork. The artwork right here, one thing it reminds me of is an old game called The Dark Tower, very old game, back in the early 80s. Use this type of artwork, and it's just nice, and the pieces, of course, the quality is fantastic. So it pulled me in. So I'm very impressed with it.